With a net worth of $300 million, it's safe to say that legendary musician Rod Stewart doesn't need to worry about money for the rest of his life. If he continues to perform and put out new music, it's a testament to the fact he's doing what he loves. And at 77, he's more than earned his right to make whatever professional decisions he wants to. That being said, Stewart has made a number of decisions in recent years that have been raising eyebrows. Join Facts First as we present Rod Stewart has shocked fans after his latest decisions. He snubbed the World Cup. Rod Stewart recently reported that he turned down over $1 million to perform at the FIFA World Cup in Qatar. The Rhythm of My Heart singer broke this news to the Sunday Times in November of 2022. Stewart claimed that while he was offered more than $1 million for the gig, he turned it down due to Qatar's criminalization of homosexuality. He felt it wasn't right to perform in a country with such repressive laws. Controversy surrounded the World Cup. Both Robbie Williams and BTS singer Jungkook both came under fire for agreeing to perform there. Dua Lipa was at one point rumored to be performing at the opening ceremony, but that didn't happen. Days before the opening ceremony, Dua Lipa put out a statement denying that she'd ever been involved in any negotiations to perform. Oddly enough, actor Morgan Freeman made an appearance despite historically being an advocate for human rights. Stewart told the Sunday Times he would be cheering for England from afar and that he looks forward to visiting Qatar when it has fulfilled each and every one of the human rights commitments it made when it won the privilege to host the World Cup. He hosted a Ukrainian family of 7. The Maggie May singer is a proud father of 8 children: Sarah, Sean, Renee, Kimberly, Ruby, Alistair, Liam, and Aiden. He had his first child with ex-wife Susanna Boffey in 1963. In 1979, he married Alana Stewart. Not long after, they welcomed the birth of their daughter Kimberly. The following year, Alana gave birth to Rod's first son, Sean. Sadly, his second marriage soon soured, and they divorced in 1984. He then welcomed his 4th child, Ruby, in 1984 after falling in love with a woman named Kelly Emberg. After that relationship ended, he married Rachel Hunter in 1990. In 92, the couple announced the birth of a daughter named Renee. In 94, the singer and Hunter had their second child together, whom they named Liam. 5 years later, in 1999, they went their separate ways and divorced. Before that divorce was officially finalized in 2006, Stewart began courting his current wife, Penny Lancaster. In 2005, Rod and Penny welcomed baby Alistair Wallace into the family. In 2007, they made things official by exchanging wedding vows. Then, in 2011, the last member of the family joined the fold when Aiden Patrick was born. While the majority of Stewart's kids are all grown up and have left the nest, so to speak, Stewart is still very close to each one of them. Rod may have a few failed marriages, but he's always been deeply committed to his family and has tried to be the best father he can. That's why, when Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022, he couldn't sit back and remain neutral. Every time he flipped on the news, he saw tragic scenes of families fleeing for their lives. At the onset of the war, Ukrainians Olena and Rostislav Kurlak and their 5 children, Taras, Roman, Kostya, Dmitro, and Marila, aged 2 to 17, fled their home country and crossed Europe's borders to make it to the UK. Knew they were leaving everyone and everything they knew behind, and they weren't certain when they'd be able to return, but they had to do what they thought was best for them given the circumstances. Without any money, a home, or the ability to speak English, the Kurlaks were terrified until help came from a very unexpected source, Rod Stewart. He funded their London life by getting them into a house and having it furnished. Not only that, but he vowed to pay the rent and all bills for the 3-story Berkshire townhouse for a full year. Apparently, Rod met them for the first time when he came out to visit their new home. When he made his arrival, they came out dressed up in their traditional Ukrainian attire. They additionally made him a cup of tea, and they all ended up enjoying chocolates and biscuits together despite the language gap. After seeing the atrocities that were affecting the Ukrainian people, Stewart knew that he couldn't simply sit back and do nothing. Having been born shortly after the Second World War, Rod knew about the perils of war. Apparently, it was his nephew Warren's idea to host a Ukrainian family during their time of immense need. Warren first suggested they load a bunch of trucks up with supplies and deliver them to refugees of the conflict. While at the Ukraine border, the trucks picked up 16 refugees and took them to safety in Berlin. Warren and his brother Gavin, along with 6 other volunteers, were the ones who braved that trip while Stewart stayed behind, wanting wanting to do more to help, that's when they came up with the idea of hosting a family in London. The singer also gave jobs to 2 refugees on his Essex estate, while another got a gig working as Stewart's gardener. When asked what he thought of Rod, Rostylov described him as a great man who had saved his family from peril. Stewart also vowed to use his platform and music to support the people of Ukraine. Since embarking on his latest tour, Rod has made it a point to raise awareness for the needs of Ukrainian refugees at each one of his shows. Rod's 2 brothers died 2 months apart. In late November, Rod announced via Instagram that he was mourning the loss of his 2 brothers, who passed away within a span of just 2 months. His brother Bob died a little over 8 weeks after his brother Don had passed on. Stewart described his 2 brothers as his best mates, while adding that they were irreplaceable buddies. The singer is the youngest of his since-deceased parents' 5 children. He has 2 surviving sisters, Mary and Peggy. Don Stewart was 94 when he passed away in September, just 2 days before Queen Elizabeth died. At that time, Stewart posted it had been a devastating 48 hours. In the past, Rod has spoken very fondly of his siblings and said they each helped raise him. He further said his brothers were instrumental in supporting him and helping him get into music. In 2019, Stewart revealed he'd been dealing with his own 3-year battle with prostate cancer. Fortunately, at the moment, he appears to be in remission. He says he'll keep singing his Raunchiest song. Despite his advancing age, the 77-year-old rocker turned romantic crooner says he will continue to sing one of his most popular but raunchy songs. The Mirror reported that he did at one point consider whether it was appropriate to keep singing the risque tune Hot Legs, but he says there isn't anything in his repertoire that he feels ashamed of belting out. The song was released in 1978 and peaked at number 5 on the UK charts. It features saucy lines like, "You can love me tonight if you want," "You're still in school," and the clincher, "Bring your mother too." Discussing the song, Stewart explained that for a brief period, he considered retiring the number since it's, as he called it, a shagging song. But if he did that, then he wouldn't have any clue how to end his sets. For years, he's wrapped up his performances with the track, and people still seem to love it. Despite once being a relatively provocative rock star, Stewart says his shows are much tamer these days than when he was younger. Back then, he says, all he was interested in was hooking up with women and drinking, and while he hasn't joined the Pipe and Slipper Club, he has gotten much better at taking care of himself. Now it's time to hear from you. What are some of your favorite Rod Stewart songs? Let us know in the comments section below.